They're dogs. They play hard as hell.
You really got it out the mud, Paul.
Nah, he did. He did. He took
some mud too now.
He went through some mud for sure.
When it comes to this Sixers team, James Harden, that situation being gone.
That guy for us?
I'm that guy for you. Just behind that.
Tell them all our secrets. Can we, Paul?
Look, I just want to know.
There's some inner sanctum of what
they
we're
gonna
doing.
be trying to steal the mojo.
I'm not even going to answer that. I'm going to tell you my most nervous moment of my life.
All right, man. Sixers 8-1. Welcome in Out the Mud, episode 2 with B-Ball Paul, RB, and of course a very special guest. You know, you have a long list of accolades. It's kind of hard for me to go down and name them all. I'm going to try my best though. 2-time British Basketball League championship head coach, 2-time British Basketball League Coach of the Year, 2-time NBA D-League, not G-League, D-League championship head coach, 2-time NBA D-League Coach of the Year, former NBA championship head coach, and former NBA Coach of the Year. Nick Nurse, welcome to the pod.
And next door neighbor, Paul Reed. Don't forget, man, I live right down the road.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for having me over, man.
No problem.
It won't be the last time I'm here now. I know where you live, Paul.
Oh, yeah. It's up.
You guys are neighbors? You guys live that close?
Seriously, it was one turn down the road for me.
I might have to move into the neighborhood, man.
It's a nice neighborhood. Nice out here.
After this pod, you might be able to afford it. No
Honestly,
cap.
I might have to. I'm getting it out the mud. Speaking of which, man, shout out to Paul hooking us up with the hoodies. Zoom into the hoodies. Yo, let them know where they can get them at.
Hey, just hit me up on my socials. I want you to hit me up on Twitter for sure. bball_Paul. Slide in the DMs. We're gonna get you situated.
These are nice, by the way, Paul.
It feels good.
Quality.
Yep.
Great quality. We got one in each color. I love it.
I love it.
The Sixers are 8-1. You have reeled this entire city back in a glimpse. We're not even 10 games in, and I'm ready to jump off the cliff. I'm ready to run through the wall. How do you do it? Everywhere you go, you win. How do you do it? What's the magic? What's the secret sauce?
Well, first of all, we are off to a good start, and the biggest thing is these guys have been working, and the spirit has been unbelievable since like day one. And like day one was, right after we got the job, and just in the gym, like literally day 2 with Paul working. He's working, and he's back in there at night working, and that's just kind of everybody's mentality. And I think I knew how good a team it was by coaching against them. One of the biggest reasons I came here. Really, really good team last year, and hard to coach against. But I felt the hunger, man, that they wanted to do well and all that stuff. So we just kind of hit the ground running from the beginning.
Team is looking incredible. At the time of recording this, 8 straight wins. I mean, talk about a start to the year. And I want to kind of line up some of the similarities with the 2018 Raptors and the 23 Sixers. So both teams dealing with drama coming into the season. Both teams have Nick Nurse as a first-year head coach, coming off disappointing playoff losses in the second round. And both teams start the year 8-1, and the only loss to Milwaukee.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Okay.
And that team, we know how that year ended.
Yeah,
with a ring.
Yep.
So do you see any similarities with that team and kind of the identity so far of this Sixers team?
Certainly a lot of stuff at the beginning. I think you mentioned it. Good team, semi-high expectations, but maybe not like, championship thoughts, really. I mean, nobody really thought of us as Toronto at that point as championship contenders. Not even really when the playoffs started did many people think of it. But the part you did mention, there was a lot of, I call them raging fires. There was a lot of raging fires burning. We got quiet. We didn't know if he was really going to play. He hadn't played in like 14 months. Kyle, my man Kyle from Philly here, was mad at everybody because his buddy DeMar got traded. I was talking about changing the starting lineup a little bit, maybe bringing Serge off the bench, trying to insert Siakam. So there was all kinds of things going on there at the start, but very similar. Guys bought in and started playing really hard right at the beginning, and it's a very talented team like this one.
Yeah, I mean, nobody is afraid to get creative on this team. And I think from day one, you really just came in and implemented a certain identity. I think, at least from the outside so far, it's not even that the Sixers are winning games, it's how they're winning games. And I think what's taken people aback is that they're so surprised at how polished it is. It looks like you've been here for 3 years already implementing, certain tendencies and schemes. Like, how did you bring this team already to play the way that they're playing? Like, everything is on point, the off-ball cuts,
I ain't gonna lie, though,
movement.
We've been working since, summer. We've been working since.
He had you running suicides?
After June, we've been working. We've been Rico Hines running through the same sets that we doing now. So it's like the preparation is making a huge difference. I feel like just from being a player, I feel like, it's make it easier to go out there and know what to do.
How important was it to bring in Rico and some of these other guys that you're familiar with, bringing in your own staff? How important is that to you when going to a new team?
Yeah, just a little bit about the staff is that a lot of them I go back with in some form or another, right? Rico was with me in Toronto. Brian Gates and I coached together back in 99, 2000 in the old United States Basketball League. You probably never heard of that. USBL, right? So I knew him from a long time ago. We won a couple deals there. Couple guys played for me. Fab Flanoy played for me in England. Terrell Harris and Terray Murray were on championship team at Rio Grande Valley. Doug West was my assistant on that team. Matt Browsey was my assistant. Yeah. Like, all these guys, Kobe Carl won a G League title. Brian Gates won a D League title. Like, I really believe in guys that have put their time in and have won. Like that can prove and figure it out how to win in maybe some obscure places.
Kind of like you.
Well, that's part of it. I got to know all those guys coaching in some of these places, so they're winners, man, and they love the game, and they're that's a great staff.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick break from this pod so I can tell you about BetUS. They're one of the leading online sports betting platforms. They are secure, reliable. They have excellent customer service, and they are there to satisfy all of your betting needs, whether that's basketball, football, baseball, soccer, or whatever other sport you can think of. Maybe you want to even bet on some international games. They have you covered with everything from pregame, live game, parlays, player props, and a whole bunch more. The customer service is what really helps them stand out. They are there 24/7 to help you with anything you need. They have some of the best promotions and bonuses going on right now. And in fact, if you click the link down in the description, you can get a 125% sign-up bonus when you sign up with BetUS. For example, if you deposit $100, you will get matched $125 free dollars to play with. BetUS is one of the best sports books out there doing it. I use them myself. They have some of the most unique special bets out there. So go check them out. Click the link down in the description and get a 125% deposit match sign-up bonus when you sign up with BetUS.
Yeah, I really like how the team's coming together. Last night had to be probably the most impressive performance of the season for sure. I mean, really, maybe in the NBA. Paul was on the floor playing with him, and you were on the sideline watching him. Tyrese drops a 50 bomb. Just kind of take me through, like, where does that rank up there with some of the ones you've seen on the coaching sideline?
It's up there. It's up there primarily because I didn't even really realize that. It usually happens, though, a little bit. Like, I didn't really realize. I look up, and I don't really look up there that much. I look up, and I saw 45, and I went to Bobby Jackson. I said, he's got 45 points.
I said the same thing, though. It's crazy. I think I heard you say that because I looked at the same time, and I'm like, dang, he really got 40 right now? And there's like 10 minutes left in the game. So I knew he was going to go 50 for sure.
What did they have at halftime? Did they both him and Joel both had like 26 or 28 or something? Or
yeah,
high 20s, mid 20s. I did think it at halftime. I said those guys both ought to get 40 tonight. Just kind of in passing, I was thinking because I think they were like 28 and 29 maybe or something, and they almost both did, I guess. Yeah,
that's tough.
It's tough. It was awesome.
They combined for 87 points. Like, what's it like having these two go out? And we know Joel's a superstar, and seeing the emergence of Tyrese, and now he goes for a 50-point game. You saw him even in Toronto when he dropped 44. The playoff game 1 where he drops 39.
Yep.
I feel like people in Philly thought, okay, he's ready to take that leap. He just needed that opportunity. And from day one, you were vocal coming in saying, we're going to get Tyrese involved more in the pick and roll. We're going to make him more effective in terms of a playmaker. It seems like you already knew coming in, like, he's going to be one of the focal points of this offense.
Well, when I saw him play against us, he was 39, 44, whatever. All those are pretty focal right there, right? Pretty focal point right there for me. I was just kind of wondering what was everybody waiting on? Because when I'd see him up close myself, it was like let him go a little bit, and I'm more like it's his position. You know, I think he's doing a really good job of getting the team run now. He's getting us into stuff. He's you know, people say, oh, is he really a point guard? Yeah, he is. You know, he is. He just needs the reps, and he'll grow into it, and he's growing super fast there. But, man, he's so fast, right? He's so fast going right. Now he's going to kill you going left with all the three balls. Like, take your pick. What are you going to try to do? And then he's got to just kind of separate, and, like, he can look at you and dribble, and all of a sudden, I don't know, he's over there, and you're still over there, and he's shooting a deep three, and his shooting percentage is super high. So he's got a lot of talent, man.
I mean, Paul on our last episode said he has no ceiling, and I am still kind of a bit surprised. I'm not really when I look at his personality and his work ethic, but he comes into the league, and the main gripe against him was him shooting the long ball. He shoots 30% his first year. Then he goes to 42.7%, 43.4%, and now he's shooting above 43% already. This year, he's in the 50, 40, 90 club already. And Paul can speak to this too. Like, what is it like? How impressed are you with the way he is growing? Did you expect him to be this caliber of player, or I mean, is this taking you back at all?
I'm gonna speak. I don't think nobody expects anybody to be that good of a player. You feel me? Like I was impressed for sure. Even the first day of training camp going in, and I'm 58th pick in the draft, so I'm not really out there getting reps, but I see him out there getting buckets on them, and I'm like, dang, like he tough for real. So I've been seeing it since day one, but to go out and be dropping 50. I mean, I knew he was capable.
That's a big step forward.
That is a big step forward. He dropped 39 one game.
Against us.
That was the playoff game.
That was against us.
Nah, that was rookie season.
Yeah.
Against the Nuggets?
Against the Nuggets. It was like 8 games in, and
everybody was
gone for COVID. And so I was out there with him, and he dropped 39. I'm like, dang, like he like that for real.
Yeah. That's when you knew. That moment right there?
That's when I was like, yeah, he one of them. He different. And, for me, looking at him, that's my teammate. And it's just, like, inspirational for real. Made me want to go out there, go harder, and play harder type of deal. So it makes it easy playing with somebody, who that skilled. Just like Joel, just like Tobias, I feel like we got a lot of pieces on our team. And it's like makes hooping easier when everybody playing the right way also.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Nick instills that confidence within the team system. I think when you look at this team right now, even Joel, he's averaging 30+ again, 6 assists per game, 12 rebounds. Like, you really prioritize the little things, even 2 blocks a game. And even Maxey had 3 blocks last night. Like, it's just the leap up is insane. And I think you're bringing out not only the best in the guys, but I think they all believe in each other.
I be seeing Joel play harder too. Like on defensive end, it's like he be out there really blocking shots. He be moving on defense, like looking real agile. I be like, okay, hold on, I ain't seen this Joel yet. Hold on, what's going on? It'd be interesting. It'd be good to see.
That's the 2 things that impressed me about those 2 guys. I think Tyrese's assist to turnover ratio is, I don't know what it is, but he's had a couple 10 and 0s, 11 and 1. I mean, it's got to be way up there. That's been, and 2 things on Joel: the rim protection when he's playing at that end has been good, but his offensive rebounding too. He's getting big offensive rebounding numbers. I mean, he goes in there and he wants to get it, he's going to get it, and he's been going in there and taking some of those down and putting them back in, and those are I call spiritual points. You know what I mean? When he's down there and we miss one and he just knocks everybody down and grabs it and lays it in, then we're like, You know, like the other team's looking around like, what are we going to do, man? What are we going to do, man? Like, next thing you know, it's a 12, 15-point game, and we're out of there,
Yeah.
I definitely think he's balled in. And, you've done it with Kawhi before. You've done it with Joel now. Like, that element of buying in, I think, is so important. And, Joel trusts everybody now. Tyrese trusts everybody. Tobias trusts everybody. There are so many depth pieces. For once, there's too much depth on this team. For years, everybody said, let's get a bench. We need more shooting. We need more wings. It's like now there's guys fighting for minutes. Like, how did you bring this to life, this system of everybody just kind of buying in, but more so, just having all these guys, like, playing some type of role? Where's your system of, like, coming in and, like, getting the star to buy in, and then the supporting cast in their own role?
Well, I think that, first of all, we talked about some of the pieces and all this stuff too, but our guys coming off the bench, and I made a point to mention this last night after the game. There was a stretch where I thought where Paul, Pat Bev, and D House, man, were just like, they were just tough. Like, they turned that game around with just three dudes out there fighting, man, and playing, and just super hard, just like, we just weren't leaving without scoring, and they were just having to, we finally shut the water off on them on offense. I mean, they were flooding, gushing, whatever it was, and those guys, we stopped them and made a couple turnovers, and the biggest thing I think is most of our guys that are coming off the bench just play hard as hell. You know what I mean? They're tough. They're dogs. They play hard as hell, and that's like another wave of things. The team saying, finally they're breaking their bench guys in, and they get hit hard by them. That to me is like that's awesome. Again, it's a spiritual part of, they think there's going to be a let up, and then it maybe goes up a notch or two with our just effort and energy level, and it's just been good. It's been good.
Yeah, gotta hold it down. I bet fella ain't out there.
That's right.
Those things go so underrated nowadays in this world of star basketball, and you're allocating a third of the cap to two guys or three guys. Like, go out there and hustle. Go out there and fight. And Paul's a prime example of this. Like, go out there. That's why Philadelphia loves him. He goes out there, he cleans up the glass. Paul's poking a ball away at half court, leading to a transition bucket. I just feel like those things don't get valued as much anymore, but I feel like they should. That's what brings teams together, kind of connects all the dots in a way. The Pat Bevs of the world, those are such important pieces on a championship team, especially one that's deep, goes into the playoffs, and like having that mental toughness.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I think it's a little bit like, I say this all the time, playing hard still goes a long way in this league, even though it's probably not going to be on ESPN highlights very often, right? The deep threes and the alley-oops and all that stuff, or the who's the best rookie and all, whatever it is all going to be on there. But it's 82 games, man. You got to come out punching for a lot of them if you want to win a lot of games, and we got a bunch of guys that fight, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a moment that I think usually fans look at teams and they say, like, that's a championship team. Is that how it goes within, like, from within the locker room? Is there ever maybe like preseason or training camp or just at some point during a season where it just clicks and it's like, okay, like, this team is built for the long run. This team can do it.
Man, Coach already know what time it is with us. So I feel like, you feel me? We can get right. So that's, I can, you feel me, kind of answer for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, that's what like I'm focused on. I think for me, I was fortunate to like be in a bunch of leagues, like the D League. We had like, I don't know, when I was in it, like 16, 18 teams or something. When you're in that league, you're thinking, okay, how are we going to figure out how to win this thing? Right. And when I was coaching in England, there was like 13 teams in our league. It's almost like a conference, like, and you're just sitting here thinking, there's got to be a way we can figure out how to get to the top of this thing. And I think it's the same, even though there's 30 teams, and winning that thing is hard, man. It's really hard. It's a long run. But I sit here and think, yeah, I mean, we got a lot, like I keep saying, we're just scratching the surface right now. We got like less than 50% of our defensive stuff in right now, and we got probably a little bit more than that offensively in, maybe 65. Like, there's a lot more building to come. I got to learn a lot more about these guys, but that's the kind of challenge of it. And if you can click off wins while you're doing that, if we're still trying to learn each other, then that's usually a good sign.
Is there a certain point you think when, okay, this is the right time to go ahead and implement certain things? Do you do that strategically, like come into a season and not really reveal all your tricks in the bag?
Yeah, 100%. But it's not like you sit here and say, okay, November 1st, December 1st, we're doing the January, we're going to do that. It's happens a little more organically than that. Like, I don't know, we just all of a sudden see something in a game and we realize, okay, like we were kind of prepared for that, and then after we see it at halftime or something, we'll go through it, and these guys are pretty sharp, and they'll go out there and take it to the court. I don't know, example, Toronto, the first game was doubling us from the baseline, and we hit them on that low cut like 3 times in a row for dunks, so then the next day we go to practice and show the film and go to do the drills, and now that part's in our, we got that in our arsenal. We know that part now, and that kind of keeps happening more so on the defensive end. We're starting to really learn about the foundational stuff, but you still have to kind of see certain guys in the league, because like certain duos or certain guys, that's the only scheme that applies to them or something like that. So you got to actually see them, and then you kind of get that in your toolbox for later. So that stuff kind of keeps growing as you go.
It's interesting. When it comes to a guy like Paul, you said, I think it was 2 months ago before the season, that we would see him and Joel Embiid together. Is that one of those things where you kind of like bottle it up and save it for a certain matchup or a certain team? Will we see that?
Yeah, you almost saw it last night. I was like I really believe that when guys are playing really, really well, to figure out a way to let them keep the run going. He's been, he was on one last night. He was, the 6-minute stint, his numbers were off the charts as far as all the things that we grade, our accountability standards. And it was close last night. I would have probably said against any other opponent, it would have gone, but they play like 4 guards at a time constantly. So it wasn't maybe the best matchup, but I don't, again, it's like in this league, it doesn't really matter. If he's going to get switched on to guys all night long because of what we're doing. If he knows what the scheme is when he's guarding a certain guy and gets it done, it doesn't really matter who's out there. So we're getting there, yeah.
Yeah. So it just take time.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Awesome.
Yep.
I got a question, though. I got to squeeze one in.
All right, go for it. Floor is yours. It's your podcast.
Hey, I know you like to play guitar on the road, right?
Yep. Yep.
I was wondering if you could play something for us.
Sure, I can play something for you.
My rookie season, I was learning how to play guitar, and I know how challenging it is.
It's really hard.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
And I think it's very impressive that you know how to play, actually. So I got one. But you probably got to do a lot to tune it up.
Oh, maybe. If it's in tune, I play. You don't want to hear it if it's not in tune. Trust me.
You used to be in a band, right?
No, I haven't. I've never been in a band. The only thing that I do is used to do in Toronto is I had a whole bunch of dudes. We just get together and jam. We bring in I usually I play the piano. I usually at the piano. We bring in about 3 guitar players, bass player, drummer, saxophone. We just start reeling off some songs and jam for a couple hours. But no, never in a band. I don't think I'm going to make that. Maybe, you never know.
Maybe you can make the
maybe someday, you never know.
Maybe your first single could be our intro song.
We're going to do something together, man. You're a musician. I know that, Paul. You're a musician. I can get on the keyboard.
You like that with the keys?
I played the piano a lot longer. I played the guitar about 5-6 years.
Oh, yeah. How many songs you know on the piano?
On the piano?
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have, so you can really do something real
I know like hundreds on the piano, and I know about 10 on the guitar, probably.
You ever
That's the difference.
You ever played the piano for somebody?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's tough.
Yeah, all the time.
You get a lot of points for that. I ain't gonna lie.
I was driving through Iowa. I'm from Iowa originally. I was driving for our coaches retreat. I took the coaches to my hometown before the season started, and I was driving back, and my old high school coach who you met, he came to training camp.
Yeah, remember him.
I pulled over at stop. He always makes me play for him and his wife when I stop at his house. So I play for them for a while.
You must be pretty good then.
I'm okay.
Look, he trying to be humble.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I just play what I like to play.
I feel like he's underrated in everything he does. Like
Man.
he goes to any basketball league, he's playing any instrument. You probably play multiple instruments.
Hey, what you think the key is for success? Because you like one of the most successful people I know.
The key for success?
Yeah.
Well, it's a really big, kind of long question, but I always think that probably going to sound a little corny, but I think everything starts with a dream, right? Of like, what do you love and what do you want to do? And, you know, like for me and you, it's basketball, right? And the dream is how are we going to get to the title or you know, it's a goal, right? It's a dream, goal, same thing. And then like right under that, man, you just got to start mapping out the plan. Right. What are things that, you know, like, you know, and there's simple, like for me, like I try to keep it really simple. Like, okay, I really believe in hard work. So do I, like, on a daily basis, am I outworking the other 29 head coaches in the league? I don't know that. I don't know what they're doing, but I got to sit here and do as much as I think I can do for you guys to understand that I'm working, I'm watching the film, I'm trying to put the best game plan each and every game out there for you. I'm trying to know the personnel, you know, so the plan starts, you know, what is the plan going to be? And then it's just it's a daily chipping away at that plan. I think that's it. Dream big, man. And then, but don't just dream. You got to map out the plan. Yeah. And you got to work.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure.
You know that.
I definitely know that.
You're on that plan. You're on that.
I'm definitely on that plan.
Yep.
Definitely on that plan for sure. That's good to hear because now you know. Oh man, Draco over there sad. We should let Draco in, bro.
Yeah, come on in.
Let him join the pod. Sorry, Drake. Nah, I'm on that plan for sure. I feel like I try to outwork everybody. I'm the same way.
Yep.
And it's been working.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I feel like you both epitomize the out the mud phrase. I think it's perfect. And we talked about Paul a lot last episode, like his journey going from college to the NBA. You know, he said people were leaving his draft party and he used that as motivation to kind of prove everybody wrong. And when it comes to you, it's like you leave after your first college job, you go overseas for, like 10, 11 years. You come back, you get a couple college jobs. Even one job you went to, you know, was done after 4 days because one of your former teammates who was the coach darted for Creighton, and he's actually, you know, the current coach now. So it just feels like you've bounced around everywhere. Then you become an assistant. Like, you're underrated. Everywhere you go, you win. I don't understand how it took you that long to get where you're at. Was that always your goal, to get to an NBA coaching job?
I don't think it was always my goal, no. But I think what was the goal was to be really good at my craft. And I realized, like, really young, I kind of was a head coach mentality. Like, right away, I had a head coaching job at 23 because I had all these ideas, and I've been keeping notes about, you know, what I thought would work, and I just had to try them, you know, and it's hard as an assistant to try them, and I just needed to have my own program, and so I had like almost 20 plus years of head coaching experience before I got in the NBA, right? And all over the place, all in the what we call the backwaters of basketball, right? I was in England and Belgium and Enid, Oklahoma, and Long Beach Summer League and Summer League in Italy. I was coaching any place they would give me a team, I would coach them because I was just experimenting mostly with playing hard in chemistry. Like, I loved getting even if it was like a 2-week camp, I was just trying to figure out how to get that group of guys to play together and play really hard. And so that I was just trying to do, and I just felt like, you know, to answer your question, maybe like when I was having a lot of success in the D League, people saying, I can't believe you won't nobody in the NBA will call you up. And I didn't really care because I knew like how valuable that head coaching in the D League was, how much I just felt like I was getting so much better every year, getting those 50, 60, 70 games in the D League as a head coach at that level. And I didn't know if I'd ever get a shot at it, but if I did, I thought I was going to be really prepared for it.
Shout out to BetUS, one of the most reliable, secure sports books out there right now. They have excellent customer service. You can get in touch with them 24/7, and they offer an extensive coverage of sports betting, including football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and more. I'm using them myself, and I am winning big. Maybe you want to go bet on who the MVP of the league is going to be this year. Maybe you want to bet on who's going to win the championship. They have tons of futures in addition to all their player props and live game parlay stuff. They have tons of bets, a lot of unique ones as well that you won't find anywhere else. They offer some of the best bonuses and promotions in the industry. So go down to the link in the description, click it, go to betus.com right now. You can get a 125% sign-up bonus and up to 30 risk-free bets. Go check out betus.com.
It's a very non-traditional route, but I mean, you come in and you win the chip in your first year, and here you are, 4 years later, trying to do it again with another team. It's like, I just feel like your career is something that people can learn from, and I think you kind of take things away from everywhere you go, whether it's overseas, D League, G League, NBA. What do you think the number one thing is that you've learned? Obviously, you talked about success, but just about like being on your feet, on your toes at all time, like from all these different situations.
But probably the number one thing is I loved all those jobs. You know what I mean? When I was in them, I like it meant the world to me. When I was a 26-year-old head coach of the Birmingham Bullets in England, and I love that job. They asked me when we were getting ready for my first Game 7 in Toronto, what's it feel like? You're a rookie coach, your first Game 7. I said, feels like 96. Going to the championship game, Birmingham versus London, or 2000 when it was Manchester versus, Birmingham. It was like, because at that time of my life, it meant the world to me. And then a Game 7 in the NBA, it meant the world to me. So loving that job that you're currently in and giving that job that you currently have the best you have is what I really learned from it.
You really got it out the mud, Paul.
Nah, he did. He
took some mud too now.
He went through some mud for sure.
That's right. That's right.
He took the untraditional route.
Yep.
Hey, I feel like that's good to hear though. Experience, going through situations like that to work on your craft. Essentially, I feel like that's the epitome of out the mud for sure. I mean, what were you using? Birmingham?
I was everywhere you could be in England. I coached in Birmingham, England, Derby, England, Manchester, England, London, England, and Brighton, England.
What's your
5 different teams over there.
What was your favorite team to coach?
Probably Manchester. My Manchester team was unbelievable. Like I think we went like 47-5 one year. We were just awesome. So that's always a lot of fun. But I really probably like living in Brighton. The best Brighton's on the South Coast.
South Coast.
Yeah, right on the beach there. It's pretty nice.
So you got any cribs out there still?
Nope. No properties in England.
Oh man,
I got one in Iowa and down the street from you.
We gotta get some lunch sometime. We gotta get some dinner.
Right,
I mean, we should, see if we make some shake.
Yep.
What's the one thing you learned from maybe England or anywhere else that you may not have known before? Maybe about like the culture, or if people enjoyed basketball, like just anything in general. What did you learn?
I would say a good life experience for me was when I went to England and Belgium, and that is probably exposed me more to like the music stuff and the theater. I used to go to the West End in London a lot, and I don't know, I think my appreciation got me out of just total sports focus. I mean, I got like 8 brothers and sisters and played every sport you could play growing up. We were just like a total sports family. And that was it. It was sports and more sports and more sports. And when I went over there, I just culturally, seeing a lot of different countries, eating a lot of different food, seeing a lot of different really cool concerts and really cool cities and venues and things like that. I think that probably opened up just my cultural experience more than anything.
That's really cool. I'll ask the hard questions. When it comes to this Sixers team, James Harden, that situation being gone, we had to address it because we didn't get to in the last episode. It literally happened right after we recorded the last one. That being done with, was that a relief for this team? Do you think that attributed at all to the start of how this team's playing? Or do you think has just been that laser focus already?
Yeah, I think it wasn't nearly maybe as bad as the attention it was getting outside of our practice facility and in the arena for the games. You know, they just need something to talk about all the time, so they were. I don't think our guys were bothered. I certainly didn't see it in work ethic and spirit that was in the gym. And when he was even around, you know, he was good. And the guys like him. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, he's being professional. And I was kind of like, I don't know, we can win with him. If he's going to play, let's win with him. And if he's not here, we can win without him. Let's figure out a way to win, man. And I think that's kind of everybody just was like, okay, let's do it. And I didn't really sense it as that burdensome a thing to get off our back. So I didn't feel that much relief when it was over with. I mean, it is nice that we know what our team is now and we can kind of focus in. It just kind of gave us I got to figure out how to use these other guys and stuff now and help them in their careers.
Like you said earlier, we got a deep team. I mean, depth is crazy on our team, so we got a lot of dudes who can hoop and ready to hoop. So, you know, like you see Tyrese going crazy. That's an opportunity. And, you know, next man up mentality. Everybody got to stay ready.
Do you go like game by game in terms of like who earns minutes, who continues to stay in the rotation? I feel like one of the main gripes before with the fan base has always been, yeah, we don't get to see that guy. You know, we see him a couple weeks and then poof, he's gone. Like, what's your approach to just a strategic day by day type of thing when it comes to all the talent on the team?
It's definitely a work in progress, especially since we got added 4 guys and they all can play. They all can help us, right? And we already had probably about a 9-man rotation going before they got here, maybe 10. You know, so it's a bit of a challenge. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's what they call good problems, right? These are good problems, but I also like. You know, one of the things our staff believes in, you know, we always kind of say number 1's winning, and 1A is like increasing these guys' value in the marketplace, right? And that means each and every one of them. We got to try to figure it out for all of them, right? Because a lot of guys there on their contract year, and we want to help them. So it is a challenge. We spend me and a couple of the assistants spend a good chunk of every day talking about different possibilities. You know, the trade happened. You probably remember. Trade happened, and I was kind of like, okay, they just got here. Like yesterday, we had a game, so we're like, let's go with our guys we know, right? Like let's figure. And then we had a good game, so let's we kind of stuck with that, but we just knew we had to get some of those guys in there, and we're still doing it. I think that Nick, obviously, really good player, very experienced. Covington, everybody knows he's played a lot. Good player, can help us. I believe Marcus Morris has a place on this team. I just think positionally he'll fit a little bit. He's a little different than some of those other guys. KJ's very talented. I don't know where we're going to sneak him in there, right? He's young, but he's very talented and good enough to play. And like I said, it's a good problem. We'll keep working through it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think like this team, like you said, they have good problems, and it's been a while since they've really experienced that. And I just think it really speaks to the team identity. And yeah, I mean, this team just has well-fitting pieces. I think it's Joel, Tyrese, Tobias, but then everybody else just kind of molds together, and it's really a system. I mean, shout out to the system.
Well, there's good players. So like, you know, when you just said, very blessed when you lose a guy that's playing as well as Kelly and you stick Nick Batum in there.
Yeah.
And that dude can hoop, right? And then in Nick's spot off the bench goes Robert Covington, right? Like these guys got some experience behind them. And then like I said, these other dudes, Pat and House been waiting for a chance and he got one, and Pee Wee go out there and put it on him last night, right? So that's why you get the win. That was a tough game last night, man, and we needed everybody's contribution, and we got it.
Yeah. Yep. Coach is not wrong.
It was a fun one last night. It was a good challenge last night.
Yeah.
Good challenge.
When you look at this team going forward, everybody keeps talking about what they can be in the long term. Do you think this team needs anything? Like, I guess the better question is, in terms of your evaluation, are they already fitting more perfectly than you have expected? I feel like the major combo was, we're either going to trade for a star, we're going to flip assets, get a star, or we're going to bring somebody else in. But it just seems like this team is already so interconnected, and they've kind of locked in already.
Well, we're playing well, right? I think that you need to get through more of the schedule and see more how you match up with certain teams to really analyze that. But I would say this: like, you say, okay, we got like Tatum and Brown coming at us here in a couple days or whatever, and you think, well, who's our matchup on them? And it's a little different. Like, it's not like we got one super lockdown wing defender that has to like stay on Tatum the whole game, right? But we got like five guys that can all take a shot at him that are above average. You know what I mean? And they all give him a little different look, and that's awesome. That's awesome because then now you're talking about a lot more switchability. You're talking about just, again, giving him so many different looks of how each guy will play him just a little differently. And then, like I said before, when somebody like Paul or Joel or somebody gets switched out onto him, do they do what we're supposed to do in the scheme? Because we talk about, hey, if you end up on him, here's what our goal is, and here's where we're trying to send him. Let's us try to dictate and all that kind of stuff. When you get to that point, then you're in really good shape.
Yeah, fast. I mean, just going into practices, and I credit PJ Tucker for helping me be able to handle these intense situations out there on the court in the right manner. I feel like he helped me evolve a little bit mentally as far as staying locked in and taking it like these practices and going over the schemes very seriously. So, I mean, Tuck done yelled at me a couple times, Of course, I don't like it, but at the same time, I can't get too mad because, he done helped me so much. And I know it ain't really like coming from a bad place. You feel me? So it's like, I try to take what he say and really utilize and put it into my game for real. I feel like it's been helping. Even last year during the playoffs, just being able to handle those moments. And even this year, starting the season, not being able to be one of those dudes that the team can trust out there on the defensive end, for sure.
The team plays very confident, and I almost feel like part of that, especially with guys like you and Tyrese and some of the others that have been drafted in the past couple of years, is you guys came right into winning programs, teams that were ready to compete now versus, okay, let me wait 3 years before I even have a chance to sniff the playoffs. How do you value that experience and the guys like PJ who have already been around this locker room and have helped you nurture in those tight moments?
I mean, for me, it's like I came from a college team that wasn't really that good, and coming into the 76ers, honestly, it took me a while to adjust to like the right mindset, for the team mindset. And once I was able to adjust and, dudes like Tuck, like I had to learn from dudes like Tuck. I came in, I'm thinking, let me go drop 20 here a game. That was my mindset. And, we got Tobias Harris already doing that. So it's like, we don't need you to do that. So it's, being able to accept your role was huge for me. And it took me a while to do that. And I think that's the thing that happens with a lot of players, who fresh in the league. They don't understand how valuable it is to just have a role on the team. And, it's been moments where I took that for granted last season, and it really hurt me. So I feel like it's good to be able to have a role. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. Especially the way you play your role as well as you do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big credit to you. You are the epitome of the role player.
Yeah, you gotta be an all-star. I mean, that's how I feel. You gotta be an all-star in your role, and then of course you want your role to enhance and change, and you want to do more. But at the same time, you gotta do what the team needs you to do, and that's more important. And the way that you get better and do more, be able to do more on the court is you got to master your role. So you got to play your role so well. It's like the other stuff just fall in your lap for real. And, you know, that's kind of my mindset about it.
Do you think that having a coach like Nurse here has developed some of those tendencies as well, maybe even more than in the past? Like, do you think it's already been expedited so far in just a couple months, you know, being able to go out there and, like, do those little things? We know that that's kind of what your game is predicated on, and it's what you do so well. It's why the entire city, you know, supports you and is always calling for B-ball Paul off the bench. Do you think that those things have just kind of been instilled already, like just to an extra level?
I mean, to an extra level, yeah, for sure. But like I had to make the point this season is to come in with the right mindset from the jump. You know, last season and Doc was the head coach. I ain't even played the first game of the season last year. And I feel like it's my fault. You know, I don't ever like to blame anybody else. I feel like I wasn't locked in enough. You know, I wasn't doing all the right things. So this year, you know, I had to make sure I came in and was locked in enough to be able to come in and be effective for the team.
Enlighten me on these practice awards that go on. I don't know anything about them other than awards, and I know something like you gather the team around every day and people share experiences. They kind of enlighten me on the ideology behind that.
Tell them all our secrets, can we, Paul?
Look, I just want to know. There's some
inner sanctum of what
they
we're doing.
They gonna be trying to steal the mojo.
Oh, they're all trying to steal it already.
Already? Yeah.
Nah, we just give out some stuff. We like I believe in accountability, and like accountability to me is you actually say, here's what we're trying to do, and then we're going to give you a grade on it. Right, so we grade them, and the guys that Paul won the award today, as a matter of fact, got the
first
Rocky,
one.
Oh yeah,
first award for
the Rocky belt today, didn't you? Get the championship belt. He graded 100% on four of our defensive pillars last night. He graded, you know, when he had like 13 chances to block out last night, he blocked out all 13. So he was 100% across the board on all four pillars. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen very often. So he was the runaway winner today of the awards. But that's all it is. And we come up with, you know, whatever we're working on. There's something offensively we're trying to emphasize, and somebody does it a bunch of times in a game, and it's not scoring. It's something to create good offense or create spacing or whatever, and they'll get an award too. And again, we're just asking them to do stuff, and we keep score. And whoever wins some of those little battles gets a little recognition for it at the end of practice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Make me want to do the right thing.
How do you feel after winning today?
I want to win again. It's bad. I want the next one.
It's just like tired. He's not gonna give it. You're not gonna give the belt back now. It's just like a real championship belt. You hang on to it.
You gotta hang on to it for sure.
Is this a daily thing or a weekly, monthly?
Like every game, almost. I mean,
it's probably about a few times a week thing, right?
Yeah,
we don't do it every day, but we certainly do it after game days. If there's a W,
yeah,
if there's a win, we give out something.
Yeah, that part. Dang. I mean, this interview has been amazing. I feel like it's been very knowledgeable. I'm glad that the fans was able to connect with Nick Nurse. I'm glad I was able to connect with Nick Nurse and get to understand him a little bit more. Hopefully, he been able to understand me a little bit more, and you and RB. I feel like we ain't asked you enough about yourself, though.
Look, I'm trying to pick the brain of the mastermind over here. It got the team at 8-1, and they're clicking on all cylinders. This team is incredible, and I'm ready to run through wall. In fact, Coach, I want to let you know. And did you guys know that in hockey? All right, I'm a casual hockey watcher. That there's an emergency goalie that sits, and I think he makes like $500 per game or something like that. And in need of emergency, if both goalies go out, that guy comes in, I guess, from the stands. I don't know. My point is relaying
You're
that here.
guy for us?
I'm that guy for you. Just give me an hour and a half game time notice.
Yeah.
Look, I can
I
spot
do know all about that because in Toronto, hockey is everywhere, right? And the emergency goalie was the Zamboni driver that night, and he got called in, and he won the game for the Leafs. I think it was 2 years ago. It was a huge story. He made a couple incredible saves, and they won the game. So I did know that.
It just happened for the
So you're
Flyers.
going to be the emergency screen setter, 3-point shooter. What are you?
I'll get
You
on
look
the.
like a 3-ball shooter. Can you shoot the 3?
Yeah, I can shoot the 3. I'll set some screens. I'll talk some smack. Take some charges.
Okay.
Paul's already training me on the free
All right.
throws.
We'll do that.
We gotta keep working though. We gotta keep working.
You gotta keep
Just
working.
let me know,
All
Coach.
right. Sounds good.
All right. And do you want to do the rapid fire? Go rapid fire questions for Coach. You got any questions?
I done asked all my questions.
I'll pull up my questions. Yeah.
Right.
We go 5 rapid fire questions, but here's the
Hot seat. Hang on.
Here's the trick
Let
to
me
it.
get ready.
Here's the trick to it. You can't think about it at all.
Rapid fire. Let's
Gotta
do
go
it.
first
All right, I'll try
thing that
first
comes to
because-
mind.
All right.
And I'll let Paul jump in if he wants to send any questions your way if he thinks any. But all right, number 1, who is the most underrated player that you have ever coached?
Fred VanVleet.
Number 2, what's your favorite part about Philadelphia so far in your time living here?
Sports, and more sports. I love it.
Any game day superstitions?
Nope.
Not at all?
I don't. Nope. I'm not on that vibe. I'm not on that vibe.
Is there any
I don't
teams?
vibrate on that frequency. However you want me to say it.
Interesting.
Yep.
Fill in the blank. If I wasn't an NBA head coach, I would be blank.
Hopefully, probably a college professor or a rock star. Were you playing the guitar over here? No, not a rock star. Not at all.
What are you teaching in college?
I don't know. Whatever. Probably leadership, psychology of coaching,
Setting
I don't know,
screens
something
101.
like that. Yeah.
Last one I got is, what is your most nervous moment that you've had on any level as a head coach?
Oh, as a head coach, I'm not even going to answer that. I'm going to tell you my most
Okay,
nervous moment of my life. We won the title in 2019. About a week later, this Canadian rock band called the Arkells called me up and asked me if I'd come out and play a song on guitar with them. And I said yes. And it was 17,000 people at an outdoor concert. They brought me out there.
Oh,
And
man.
I swear to God, I was standing side stage the whole time. And I only lived about 3 blocks from the venue. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I was like, get me back to the NBA Finals any day. I was so nervous. I couldn't believe it, but it was awesome.
So did you
awesome.
perform?
Yeah.
Oh, you
It
did
was
it?
awesome. Yep.
Everybody, They probably all knew who you were at that point, just coming fresh off a chip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was right downtown Toronto. It was
That's incredible.
awesome.
That is incredible.
It was
So
awesome. Yeah.
Did you ever play the song before, or was it?
Yeah, it was. They did when they told me it was Stevie Wonder signed, sealed, and delivered. So I had a little time to prep for it, and I really wasn't gonna do it. I was like on the morning of it, they called me up and I said, I'm out, man. I'm just too exhausted. We had like the draft 2 nights earlier and everything. Just won the title. They said, no, come on over to sound check. So I went over there in the afternoon and had a blast, and I made it to the evening performance. I was really
Most nervous
really
moment.
nervous. Yeah.
Anything better than a game 7, right, against Philly?
It's easy compared to that. Game 7, Game 6, Game 7. It's easy compared.
yeah, it's different when you get on that stage in front of them people.
You're not a musician, no man. That was tough.
I don't know if I can forgive you for that yet, for game 7, until we win the chip.
Okay, I can. That's what we came here for. Yeah.
You're going to be the one. You're going to get us over the top. You're going to get us over the top.
Yep.
For sure.
Paul, any questions you want to throw in to the rapid fire?
Oh man,
You had a whole bunch of them earlier.
I
You're
did.
spitting them all.
I had the one. I got a question wrote down. My one question I had wrote down was, "What is your why? Like, why do you want to, keep doing this? You already done one.
Yep.
Like, what is your why?"
I think first of all, the why is I always go back to like my upbringing. Right? I'm the youngest of 9 kids. I got 5 older brothers, and like every second I got up, like it was a battle.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was a battle to get some cereal, get some milk, get a bowl.
Five
And
brothers.
everything went on like that all day long. And I just am like the competitive environment that I grew up in just kind of suited me well for being a basketball coach. Yeah. And I just, man, when that ball goes up, I love it. I love just sitting there trying to figure out how to get the team to play really hard, get the team to play together, and figure out how to get that W at the end of the day. And I just love doing it.
I like that. I like that. The love for the game. Love for competing for real, huh?
Yep.
Really good.
Yep. It's awesome.
That competitive nature.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you
No
coming
problem.
on. It's been a
Appreciate
great
it, for sure.
time. And I mean, everybody in Philadelphia, like you have reeled back in the entire city. Everybody's locked in on this team. They're ready to go. And we already talked about it last episode. It's ring season. It's chip season. Can I come to the championship parade, like be on the bus with you guys?
Of course, man. Of course, we're going to have you right there. We're going to do a podcast on the parade.
Pod on the parade with Nick Nurse. We'll bring him back on.
All right, next time we're gonna make some music too. Next podcast, I come on.
Oh yeah,
Let's
for
go.
sure.
You guys got to teach me.
Get about 10 or 12 more under your belt, and then I'll come back. Okay?
Yeah, I got you.
I'll be ready. All right.
All right,
Thanks a lot,
appreciate it,
guys.
man.
Appreciate it, man. Good time. Good job. All right.
Yep.